Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel for another video on Gran Turismo 7. We are back with another race from this week's daily race B. It is in Group 4 at Interlagos, and you're going to see straight away there a name very familiar with everyone on Gran Turismo, Kimi. He is in P1. Now I'm starting further back in P10, so I'm thinking we are probably not going to have any sort of coming together with Kimi because we're quite a way back into the field. However, you know what Kimi's like. He likes to just cause mass destruction and go on an absolute rampage. So we'll see how this goes. Starting from P10, I'm in the Silvia for this race. I have tried quite a few cars out for this race. There is actually alternatives you can use to the Silvia. I think the McLaren is definitely up there, and surprisingly, the Veyron wasn't terrible. Not quite as good as some of these cars, but yeah, the McLaren is definitely up there and equal to the Silvia in race pace. So give that a go if you're thinking of something different. It's definitely worth a shot. So starting from P10, this was one of my first races with the Silvia, so we were a bit sketchy on this race. Wasn't too sure about our accelerating points out of corners and stuff like that. So not particularly fast, but yeah, let's see what we can do. Starting from P10, that's why we're in P10. I think we did one lap in the time trial and went straight into this race. So again, this corner very tricky to get right with the Silvia. You've got to get that accelerating point spot on. It's very easy. You can see P9 there, very similar. I think was also a bit rusty with this car, finding it difficult to get that understeer right going through there. We've got a car up in P8 with a penalty there, so he's going to lose out on a massive 1 second, which is going to destroy his race at this combo as we go to that beautiful replay camera action through this section here. I do love watching the replay camera on this game on this section of track. It looks absolutely brilliant. But as we come up here, we see a big massive drift from the car with a 1 second penalty, and he has spun into the wall there. So very easy to do. We've done that a couple of times already this week on Daily Race B with the Silvia. The torque kicks in third gear, rear spins up, and you are just a passenger. So easy to do. Unfortunate for that driver there, as we're now into P9 and working our way onto the back straight to start lap 2. So at the end of lap 1 here, picking up the slipstream. Can we see if we can get any positions? We're probably a bit too far back to go for a move into turn 1. You can see everyone's in a slipstream, so we're not going to gain any positions here probably. So we got a car right behind us, so we might have to go a little bit defensive. So we're going to stay to the left-hand side of the track, although he's sticking to the right. So pretty clear that he's not going to go for a move into this braking zone and just play it quite sensible into this area. See a lot of chaos in front of, a lot of barging, and we have a massive incident there, and that is 2 positions gained in 1 corner. So far this week has been quite chaotic. Now in all honesty, a lot of the races that I've done here this week so far have been caused to chaos by Kimi. He is on an absolute rampage, and you're going to see further on in this race that things might take a turn in this race also. I don't know what it is with Kimi. He probably likes the attention, but it does make for some entertaining content. So we'll see what we can get happen in this race and see if anything fun is going to develop as we work our way. Now in P7, having a little look up the inside here. We're going to see if we can get up the inside there, but decided to back out of that. Probably would have ended up hitting the rear of P6 and spinning him, so backed out of that one. And see if we can find another place as we give a little tap there into the braking zone. That was my fault. We just tapped into the rear, but luckily he doesn't lose control and he stays in P6. So now we're going to go to the right, but then go all the way to the left to try and take a wider line. And he goes for a bit of a send, hits into P5. Nah, I think possibly should have backed out of that one and let that car back through. Personally, he gained the position from that move, so it gains us a position, but obviously it's not myself that did the punt. So I think P5 should have probably backed out that one. We just took up on the outside there, let P6 back through and go for an undercut. A bit of a switcheroo there on P6 and get ourselves back up into P6. So bit of a chaotic start in these first 2 laps. People are a bit aggressive. Normally the case with Daily Race B. First few races of the week tend to be a little bit chaotic, where people are learning the combination, not used to the cars, and it's only a 5-lap race, so people just go rather crazy sometimes. But you can see at the moment we're on lap 3 now. Now Kimi has lost the lead. You can see there at the front he was in the lead at the start of this race. He's currently in P2, so let's keep an eye on that on the left hand side as you go through the race. You might see him going back up to P1, and then we'll show you something that develops in the chat which made me think when we're racing there could be a bit of chaos about to start in this race. But so far for us, race is going reasonable. We started down in P10 I think it was, and we're now up to P6, otherwise known as P-Steve, and we're working our way behind these 2 drivers in front. I think we've got an Alpha in front of us there, so that's going to be lacking a bit of power on the straight, so we should be able to get past that car if we can get into that slipstream. But we can see up ahead it's still Kimi in P2. Let's see if that develops and any positions change around through the next lap as we work our way through into this corner now. Now keep an eye on the lead. The lead has just changed, and then it's gone back into Kimi and the lead. Now you're going to see something in the chat in a minute which gives a bit of a signal that Kimi is clearly causing a little bit of chaos. We know how Kimi works. He drives reasonably clean for a couple of laps, and then he turns into a little bit of a silly person and starts taking people out. So keep your eye on the chat as we're working our way up this straight. We did this race live. I seen this when we were racing. In the chat there, you'll see the driver that got hit off, say that he's going to do something, I think, to Kimi at some point in the race. It might have actually been a bit further on. No, there, dirty Kimi. You can see there. It's on the main straight. He has said, called Kimi dirty. So I'm guessing Kimi has just done an absolute send and pushed him off the track there. But we'll check that out after the race. You're going to see all the action from Kimi's perspective and what he was doing in this race in a minute. So that's the first thing that he's done there. We're on lap 4, but it's all going to start kicking off as we get into this race. You're going to see we're coming up into this position to gain a position on P5. We should be able to go up the inside of the Alpha. We're going to brake as late as we can, give him the space on the outside and up into P5. So quite an easy move down the Alpha. The Alpha struggles top end, so not the hardest move to make for the Silvia into that braking zone. But we can see there, Kimi up in the lead there. We can actually see Kimi in the distance. He's got no one behind him at the moment. However, that doesn't mean that Kimi will not start causing chaos, because Kimi doesn't really care about wins. He seems to just care about wiping people out and causing mayhem and chaos in races. So Maxo in P4 there, I think it is, having a little bit of a moment on the rear. Silvia getting a bit twitchy on him. And we are gaining on Kimi. See, we've just gained a second on him. It's almost like he's lifting, which is a little bit worrying when you're following or coming up behind Kimi. If you see Kimi starting to lift in a race, it's time to start worrying, because you know that he's about to start causing some trouble. So if Kimi's in front of you and he starts just lifting off, just be cautious. He's probably going to brake check you or try and take you out. And when we say take you out, we don't mean take you out on a date. He's going to take you out in the race and push you into the barrier, push you into the pits. He'll do everything he can to cause as much chaos as possible. So keep your eye on the Delta now to Kimi as we're going into this corner now. We're gaining because we're in slipstream, but just keep an eye on it now, because he's about to cause absolute mayhem on this final lap. So as we look into the distance, as we come through turn 1, keep an eye on that there. There's a lot of chaos kicking on. He's brake checked P2 for some random reason. Just started to brake check him. You see the gap's down to 3 seconds to Kimi, and he's just going to cause absolute chaos again into the distance. The car gets pushed into the barrier. He's spun off by Kimi. Kimi then goes for the new leader, tries to take him out, but he gets through. This guy gets pushed off by Kimi. Now we're going to get brake checked by Kimi. You can see brake checked off Kimi. And then, yeah, Kimi just doing his usual silly drive. And again, brake checked us. And now the Alpha's going to go down the right-hand side. He gets pushed off. Now, one reason I don't like trying to overtake Kimi is because he tries to push you off into the grass. So sometimes it's best just to hang back. So again, as we're coming through here, I see him brake checking. We're onto the brakes there. We're going to just see if we can go up the inside. But he brake checks us again. And yeah, Kimi just causing his usual chaos. But now we have an opportunity. I see he's gone too deep into the corner, and I decided to end Kimi because he was going to cause absolute chaos in this race. So we decided to just clean push him off the track, and I don't have any regrets about that. And I'm not really bothered what people say, because at the end of the day, if this race would have carried on, he would have just wrecked my race and probably everyone's race behind us. So got Kimi out of the race there. His race is over. And we're going to show you the perspective of what happened in that last lap from Kimi, because he was just on an absolute rampage there. I'm not sure why he was doing that. And then he has the cheek to call us dirty after what he did there. I'm sure it's just a bit of... I'm sure he's playing games, to be honest. I don't think he's being serious because, yeah, he's just literally wiped out the whole field. But it's an interesting one. Let's go back and watch what he did on that last lap. And you're going to see that Kimi was just out to cause absolute chaos in this race. So again, watching on board with Kimi, this was lap 3 and how he got his overtake done on lap 3. So on P1 there, pushes him again, and then just stops him rejoining the track. Just look at this, stays to the left. Pretty disgusting driving, but that isn't the worst you'll ever see from Kimi. Pretty tame from Kimi. However, this is where it starts getting really interesting, and where Kimi's just out to cause absolute murder. You can see he's slowing down, literally stopping on the track, letting everyone catch him back up there. And now he's going to just get rammed. He's going to brake check that car, and then as the car tries to go past him on the right hand side, I think it is, he's going to take him out. So again, no, he tries to take P1 out but misses, but then gets that guy, pushes him straight into the barrier, and that guy is out the race. But then again, coming into the braking zone here, he's going to try and push this car off the track there. You can see he's trying to send him, Luckily for that car, he didn't get pushed off the track. However, he brake checks us, and then he sees the Alpha coming through on his right hand side and tries to take this Alpha out now on the right hand side. So yeah, disgusting driving, but this is just pretty normal from Kimi. However, he makes a mistake here. He gives himself a perfect opportunity to be put into the grass. So as we come through here, he's on the brakes, he's trying to cause chaos, and now he goes into this corner too early to try and stop me going up the inside. But what he does, he leaves himself vulnerable. So we give him a nice tap there. He's now on the grass and he's spinning around. Now he's going to get reset and everyone's going to get past him without any sort of bother. So thankfully, we stopped a little bit of chaos in that race. Now, I don't normally say you should do stuff like this, but Kimi was just on a rampage in that last lap, and I'm pretty glad I stopped him ruining half the field's race, because it could have just ended up with everyone being spun and crashed, and luckily everyone got through to him, and this is where he's typing a message to us. So yeah, interesting. Would you have done the same? Let me know in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's have another look at it from my perspective after he's brake checking us every 2 meters. Again, I really have no regrets about this. I saw an opportunity to make sure that he couldn't ruin anyone else's races. Give him a little nudge there onto the grass, and we don't even lose the position. We lose one position there, but we gained the position through Kimi. So keep that P5 and a solid race. So yeah, let me know what you think. Would you have done the same? Personally, I'm pretty glad that I did that to Kimi, because I just find his driving was pretty disgusting in that race, and he would have caused absolute mayhem. But again, thanks for watching. I'll be back with more videos. See you all soon. Bye, everyone.